Char Margolis, Char Communications Incorporated, and CharVision LLC do not endorse or offer for any purpose but entertainment the views of any guest or other expert on CharVision or UBN.
I knew things before they happened from the time I was a child. At the age of 8, I saw a spirit at the foot of my bed and didn't know what it was. And in my 20s, I finally realized I had a special ability that could help others. I have learned that love never dies. There is a spirit world that can communicate with us, and we all have the gift of intuition. Join me, and together we will explore the possibilities of the unknown from beyond and more. This is CharVision. Hi, everybody. It's Sunny and Char. I got you, babe. So Sunny's been singing for everybody in the studio. So today in the studio, I have family here. Ron Lippett is here, and you can't see him, but he's here. And then I have a special guest, and of course Tony's here. And I want to thank Tony for all the wonderful things you do. And also I want to thank Nicole Smith, back in Michigan, for helping arrange everything. But you know how we talk about everybody has a gift? Well, we do. We all have an intuitive gift. And animals have instinct, people have intuition. And my goal is always to help you understand your own intuitive gift, to help prevent problems and attain goals. And also to understand that love never dies and that we will see our loved ones again when we cross over again. But this lady who's with me today I've just met her recently, and she's a very special lady because she gave somebody an amazing gift, which was she literally gave her kidney to someone to save their lives. And this is Ann Lopez.
Hello,
Thank you so much for being here.
Honey, thank you for having me.
It's really so my pleasure. But I was reading about all the things, and like you've done a myriad of things in the entertainment industry.
Yes.
So you and
I'm
you're
a jack of all trades. What can I say?
Yeah, and you have a BFA in theater.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So you acted. Tell us what you've done.
Yeah. So I started out as an actress. I had been acting since I was 11 years old. Doing all kinds of
in Florida.
In Florida, just community theater and different things. Got my BFA in theater from SMU, Southern Methodist University in Dallas, Texas. Did a lot of regional theater. I was at Coconut Grove Playhouse in Miami. I was one of their one of their players, as we say.
Wow!
So that was fun. That was when Coconut Grove was happening in the '80s. So it was really a lot of fun. Yeah. And then, unfortunately, when I was doing a show there, my father, who was 53, passed away in a car accident.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
And but he was around. Oh boy, was he ever around!
Right. Oh, right. Okay.
He's still around. I feel very close to him still. So
but that's young.
That's very young. Very young. So I took over his business and sold it for my mother, and then at that point, I was supposed to go to Williamstown Theater Festival to be an actor and then go to New York. Mm-hmm. But I was so sad and depressed. I thought, I'm going to come to LA where it's sunny like Florida. So I came out here and I got an agent and did like 60 commercials and did stuff. But then I started getting really interested in the other side of the business, which I think the beauties of Los Angeles is that in some of these other towns, casting directors are these mystical people and producers are these mystical people that you don't talk to.
Right.
But here they're very accessible. And so I got really interested in casting and producing. And I was lucky enough that a casting director that I did a lot of commercials for, Dan Guerrero, he asked me to be his assistant over at Disney.
Oh,
and
wow.
That's how I met my ex-husband, George Lopez. There was a movie it was J.J. Abrams' first movie, he was like 21 years old, right out of USC. And it was called Taking Care of Business. And he had written the lead part for a Latino. Uh-huh. So we did this whole national search, and we found George. And then
they ended up casting. Was that the first thing he did?
No, they ended up casting. We didn't, unbeknownst to us, they had already cast Jim Belushi. They were just going through going. Yeah, we're never going to cast a Latino. So, but we found him, and we found each other. We started dating and eventually got married. So, you know.
And you have a beautiful daughter.
I have a beautiful daughter, Mayan, who is
she's
21. She's living in Chicago.
So lovely.
Going into the family business. She's at Second City, so she's...
Oh, as an actress.
Yes, she's studying at the conservatory there, so she's...
But you've produced tell us the things you've produced. Ray Charles, 50 Years in Music, Fox, America's Dance Honors. You did something for Oprah? Tell us about it.
Yeah, well, my first producing stuff was with a friend of mine, Greg Willenborg, who we went to high school together. And so we were doing award shows in the 90s, which were very big in the 90s. And so the McCallum Theater down in the desert. We used to do this America's Hope Awards, which was with Bob Hope. And we would do it at the McCallum Theater.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and so we did. Oprah was one of our honorees, and that was really fun because she was.
How long ago was that?
Oh God, that was 1991.
Wow.
She was, was
when
big,
her show was the big deal.
Yeah, it was a big deal, and she's a big deal, and it was really interesting because years later, George and I did her show. And so it was really great to come full circle.
Everything right?
Full circle. So
that
was really fun.
That's so cool. And so what'd you do for Nickelodeon?
Nickelodeon, I did a movie called Mr. Troop Mom, which was their highest rated movie until recently. And I got the idea. I was a Girl Scout leader. And so I thought, I was sitting with a friend of mine who is a writer.
Wait, you were a real
I was a real
life.
Girl. Yeah, in real life, I was a
Girl
Scout leader, which was hysterical because I had 22 little Girl Scouts. And what I would do instead of yelling at them because they would never be quiet, I'd sing to them. I'd be like, "Okay, it's time to be quiet now. We have to do this badge, So
your whole life is a musical theater.
I know it's musical theater here. It's so funny.
You are. You're like a light opera.
Yeah,
all
but
day
anyways,
long.
I came up with this. My friend and I, we were sitting around his kitchen talking. His wife and I are good friends in Toluca Lake, and I was telling him all these things about being a Girl Scout leader. He goes, "Wouldn't it be funny if we wrote a movie about George being a Girl Scout leader? And what about a dad being a girl?" And so we came up with the premise that here was a dad that was a little bit estranged from his daughter because the wife had died, which I played the dead wife. I was the pictures of the dead wife.
Oh, my. Oh, no.
We used our wedding pictures.
Oh,
and all
wow,
that stuff.
that's weird.
So anyways, I did this movie where he was kind of a fish out of water. And Jane Lynch was in it right before Glee, right before she hit really big in Glee and everything.
She was always in those Christopher
guest movies.
Movies. I love all those movies.
But anyways, it was just a cute little movie that we did for Nickelodeon. And it was really sweet. So
Okay, so oh wait.
And I used to produce all of George's stand-up specials and stuff. So
Red Herring of Arrested Development and The Black Swan.
Oh, well,
you were in Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
With Larry David.
Well, this is a funny story. So what happened is after the kidney transplant, there was, they did just, not anything with us, but there was a whole season on Arrested Development, Curb Your Enthusiasm, where Larry was going to give a kidney to Richard Lewis.
I saw that episode.
And so so they asked us to be on it. And so Curb Your Enthusiasm, there's no lines. They really ad-lib everything. So they just kind of said, okay, kind of tell them what you think and blah, blah, blah. So we walk up to Larry and Jeff Garland, and he goes, "Oh, wait, you just gave a kidney. Tell me how it is." And I said, "Well, it was the easiest thing in the world." And all of a sudden, Larry just looks at me, and he's like, "Cut. You can't be in the show." And I was just like, "Oh my God, what did I do? What did I do wrong?"
Why can't you be in the show?
Because he said the whole thing was that Larry didn't want to give the kidney. So if I had told him that it was an easy operation, it wouldn't have fit in the whole
his script.
thing. So I was like, okay, it's okay.
Oh,
I don't have to do that. So then what they did was they felt so bad. They said, "Why don't you come back and do another episode?" And I was so lucky. It's like this classic episode, The Black Swan, where Larry kills this black swan at a country. I don't know. But it's a very iconic episode. So
wow.
it was great. It was great. So I just had line, but it was
Okay,
fun.
so back to, it was nothing to give your kidney away. It was like, you know, go through the drive-in and at McDonald's, get a burger, and then go give your kidney away. Come on.
Well, you know, the operation is not what it used to be. I will say my mother was, who was living at the time, she's an anesthesiologist, and she was very against me giving the kidney because she had seen it the old way when they used to, you know, steel magnolias, when they used to cut you in the back. And now it's not that invasive. They do it, you know, arthroscopically.
Oh, they do?
Yeah, and so it's not.
How big is a kidney?
A kidney is, I don't really know. So, I mean, I don't know. That big, I guess. I don't know.
When Nikki and I were talking about this, I said, she's going to kill me for saying this. I said, do you think she lost weight? I said, how much do you think that weighed?
Well, you know what? I did train for the operation.
You did?
I did, because I wanted to be in really good shape.
But the thing about you that just impresses me the most, I mean, one of the things that impressed me the most about you is that you just had a feeling. You had an intuitive gut feeling.
Well, I had more than that.
Tell us the story.
Well, George, you know, he was feeling, he had popped his Achilles tendon and it wouldn't heal. And no one could understand why it wouldn't heal. And they were doing all these therapies to make the incision heal. And he had, I guess he had more blood work. And then they saw that his creatinine level was down. So then they said, you know what, your kidney creatinine level's down. Let's do some more testing. And so when we went to go find out about the testing, the doctor walks in and he had the worst bedside manners. He just puts these x-rays up and he goes, Mr. Lopez, you're sick. You're very, very sick. And we just looked at each other and we were like, I mean, when you hear something like that,
that's so scary.
You know, it's so scary. And so he said, you're going to need a kidney transplant by the time you're 45. And immediately I said, I'll give you mine. And right when I said that, a spirit came into my body. And I don't know if...
Oh, that gives me goosebumps.
And basically, without words, there weren't words, but I got this intuition that basically what they were telling me is, don't worry, you're the donor. And so for the next 6 years, I didn't worry about, I knew I was the donor because a higher power had told me I was the donor. What I worried about was my husband was getting sicker and sicker. You know, they were doing preventative things. He was born with a defect in his ureters. They were too narrow, and then where the urine collects in your body is like a funnel. His was like a wine glass. So the ureters were backing up, and then the wine glass was backing up, you know, into his kidney. You know, the urine was backing up into his kidneys and ruined his kidneys. So they did, you know, put stents in, and you know, they did all this preventative stuff. But it you know, he didn't make it to 45. He made it to 44. So so I knew I was the donor, and somebody else told me.
But wait, so then how many years later did you have the test to know that you really...
6 years later, they started that.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
You guys, that's amazing. That's crazy.
So 6 years later, he was actually doing the George Lopez show, which to this day, I honestly, this is a man with such a strong constitution and such a strong sense of work ethic that I honestly, after having them taking my kidney and me being at 50% kidney function for 6 weeks, he was at 17. I don't know how he was even standing up and doing a sitcom where he was
unbelievable.
You know, he's a very strong man. He's a very strong man. But so anyways, they started testing me, and you know, since I already knew I was the donor, I would say things to them like, well, so when I give my kidney, and they were like, Mrs. Lopez, it doesn't quite work that way. You know, there's tissue and there's enzymes and there's proteins, and you know, the odds of me being a match were 8 million to 1.
Get out of here.
Yeah, 8 million to 1.
Are you guys listening to this? She had a feeling, 8 million to 1.
But I already knew. I mean, and you have to go through psychological tests. Yeah, I know. It's you have to go through psychological testing. You have your own set of doctors. So the greatest thing about being a living donor is that you have your own set of doctors, and you can't just say, I'm going to give a kidney. I mean, you have to pass all this criteria, and it has to not impact your life for you to be able to give a kidney. And right now, there are 122,000 people on the transplant list, of what 100,000 are needing kidneys.
Wow.
And 3,000 people a month are added to the list, I believe, and about 20 people a day die waiting for an organ.
Oh no!
So,
well, wait a second. So, but you and George started the Ann and George Lopez Foundation. What is that?
Kidney Foundation. Yes. We started a foundation to help people with a lot of things. I mean, we do it for veterans and for education, but for the kidney part of the foundation, it was to help people with medication. Medication's very expensive, the anti-rejection medication after you've had a kidney transplant. Some people, don't have insurance, can't afford it. Sometimes they're paying for their medication, so they can't pay the light bill. So we were trying to help people financially after they've had a kidney transplant.
Was George on dialysis?
He never had to go on dialysis because I was a live donor. So that was the greatest thing. He got right down to the wire, but me being...
So if you weren't alive, like if somebody was in a car accident and died and their kidney donated...
Yeah, the average time on the transplant list is 7 years. So usually once they are deemed, you have to be sick enough to need a transplant. You get put on the transplant list, and then usually it's a 7-year process before you get an organ. So if most people are on dialysis and they're waiting for an organ, that's why live donation is such a great thing, because then
it's an amazing gift.
You don't have.
But explain why people can give a kidney up.
Well, you have two, so you only need one. You only need one kidney. So most kidney, the reason why there's a lot of kidney, more people need kidneys is because right now we have a lot of heart disease and high blood pressure, and that can affect the kidneys or congenital defects. But you can give a kidney, you can give a liver. You can give a kidney.
Because your liver grows back,
Your
right?
liver grows back. So when you give a liver, you give about a third of your liver, and then your liver will regenerate and just grow back. Now, to give a kidney, you only need one. And so what happens is, since you have two, because we only have one heart, we only have one liver, we only have one pancreas.
Right.
They're lazy, so they work at 50% each. So when you take one, the other kidney has to wake up and go, oh, I have to work harder. So it takes 6 weeks for the kidney to get up to 100%. So for those 6 weeks, you're a little more tired. In the beginning, a lot more tired. But
you were tired.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I was. It was a tired that I've never felt before. It was like... Exhausted. I mean, exhausted. And then after 2 weeks, I could run errands for like a couple hours.
Did you have to change your diet?
Not too much. I just can't do those... like the Atkins high protein diets.
Okay.
Those aren't good for kidneys, for anybody's kidneys, really, because you're processing, the kidneys have too much protein, they're filtering too much protein. So that's not a great kidney thing. But yeah, so so I was fine. After 2 weeks I was driving and doing errands, but I paced myself. So, each day I would get more kidney function. I get less tired and less tired and less tired. And after 6 weeks I felt fine.
So you saved his life. You saved George's life.
Yes.
You saved your daughter's father.
Daddy, yeah. I think that's one of the most amazing things about live kidney donation or live organ donation is that you're not just giving that person the gift of life. You're giving a daughter her father. You're giving a husband a wife. You're giving a cousin. You're giving a brother, a sister, a mother, a father.
You're giving people
who love that person.
Laugh, a comedian to make them keep laughing.
But you're giving a whole family that person and friends and things. So that's I think it's a very beautiful thing.
I personally think that is extremely unselfish of you to do that.
Well, I was very in love. And when you think of your wedding vows, it's
till death do you part.
Till death do you part, for better, for worse, till death do you part. And it's in sickness and his health. And it's funny because every week I would have to have this, I'd go to see, they make you go to psychiatrist. They have their own person.
Oh, really?
And, they come up with different things that I had not thought about. They were like, well, how would you feel if the kidney doesn't take and if he rejects the kidney? And I had not even thought about that. And I was like, wow, you're right. I'd be really bummed, but at least we gave it a try.
Okay, but what do? They put him on medications to accept the kidney? How do you, even though you're a match, how do you know you can keep that kidney?
Yes, even though you're a match, it's still a foreign body in your body. So you have to be on anti-rejection medication for the rest of your life. And you have to take it, religiously. In fact, one of the things we were working on was young people, like let's say you get a transplant when you're 16 or 17 and all of a sudden you go off to college. Well, when you're younger, mommy and daddy are the ones telling you take your pills and this.
Right.
And then some kids go away to college or get their own apartments or whatever, and they end up losing their kidneys because they're not taking their medication.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so it's very important to take your anti-rejection medication.
And can people have more than one transplant?
Yes, I actually have a very good friend, Laurie Hartwell, with the Renal Support Network. She is in her 50s, and she's had 4 transplants. So
were they from living donors?
No, all from deceased donors. Yeah,
deceased donors.
Yeah, and she's an amazing woman.
And if some do they? Oh, go ahead. Finish.
No, she runs the charity Renal Support Network, which every year. One of the things, she does many things, but one of the sweet things she does is she has a prom. Aww. And for kids who didn't get to go to prom because they were sick. Oh, no. And I help out with that every year. And Jack Black comes and sings at the prom every year. He's such a great guy.
How sweet.
And this year Jack brought Nick Jonas because they did the movie Jumanji together. And so they sang to the kids and they signed autographs and all that good stuff.
So if somebody, a living donor, do they have to be a certain age? Is there an age limit?
No, there's no age limit.
Like you can be 80 and give your kidney?
Yeah. There have been people in their 70s and have given a kidney. The only thing you have to be healthy. Usually you can't be on any heart medication. So that's one of the, can't have high blood pressure and things like that. So you have to be really healthy to give a kidney. But, it's, yeah.
I never thought about that because I know I think on the back of the driver's license it says if, you know, God forbid.
Yeah. Now that, unfortunately, is just a suggestion that shows that you want to be a donor, but your family can override that in this country.
Oh, really?
Yes, unfortunately. So what you really need to do is put that in your medical directive that you know, heaven forbid anything were to happen, you would want to be a kidney donor or an organ donor. And one person can save 7 lives. So it's really quite amazing.
That's incredible, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, how do people go about being a live organ donor? What do they do?
You can go to Donate Life, which is another organization, and you can sign up. There's a lot of different ways, like places on the internet where people are looking for kidneys. Hospitals have right now what they're doing, which is amazing, is that they're doing like a organ donation chain. So like, let's say I was a match for Tony, but not a match for you. Mm-hmm. Well, I would give my kidney to Tony, and then someone Tony knew who was a match for you would give you a kidney. So they're doing these chains that are really...
That's interesting.
Yeah, and it's great. I mean, I think the biggest one, UCLA just did one recently of 8 people. So it was 8 people that needed kidneys, and their donor was not compatible, but was compatible with someone else. And so that's
fascinating.
It's fascinating.
Has anyone done a movie on this or a story or a book?
This is like
amazing.
It's absolutely fascinating. And to me, can I tell you, I mean, I gave my kidney to my husband who, I was very much in love with.
Right.
People that give their kidneys to total strangers, I think they're my heroes. Right. I mean, that to me is just amazing.
I think you're both heroes.
Well, but that's amazing to me. I mean, to give your kidney to a total stranger.
Because it's a gift.
Yeah, I see.
Do people get paid for that?
No, you do not get paid.
You don't get paid for your kidney?
No. That's against the law.
Really?
Yeah, that's against the law. In the United States, I think there may be some other countries where you can buy a kidney or buy an organ, but no, here in the United States, it's against the law. That's another thing, you know. It's you cannot be paid for an organ.
Do you know of any other stories like a divine intervention that happened with somebody donating a kidney or an organ? I
have not been privy to anyone telling me that because it is a very personal thing. I mean, I didn't tell this story for a very long time, but I felt that if it ever helped anyone, why not? In fact, it was really interesting because my neighbor, I think I told you this when you read me, my neighbor.
Okay, I did not tell anybody I read for.
Oh, sorry.
Thank you for saying that. I don't tell people who I read for.
Well, she read me and she was fabulous.
Well, thank you.
But anyway, I used to, down the street from me was Hillary and Haley Duff, who I've known those girls since they were like 14 and 16 years old. Mm-hmm. And Haley was walking her dog, and I was still in the hospital at the time. And she said, she got back to the house and she said, oh my gosh, you know, I think there's something going on at the Lopez house. I think, did Ann have a baby or something? Because there's an angel over their house.
That's amazing.
And first of all, that she saw an angel. I mean,
saw an angel over the house.
Yeah,
you guys see how we get signs all the time?
Yeah, yeah. And she didn't tell me this until a year after the transplant. And I was like, oh my, you're kidding me. And all I can think of was that, you know, George and I were both in the hospital. And all I could think of was that the angel was, you know, my daughter was in the house. And
he was supposed to live on, and you were supposed to give your kidney. There must be some karmic. There must be some karma.
I think so. I think there has to be
from
something.
Past lives,
there has to be. And it was really funny because what I did, I was only in the hospital 2 days, and George was in the hospital for 4 days. So what I did, we were gonna break the story on a Monday, and Sunday the National Enquirer called his publicist and said, hey, we found this out. And they said, well, we're breaking the story tomorrow anyway, so too bad. So I called a lot of our friends and to tell them, hey, look, this is what happened. We're both okay. So at the time, we had a house up in Pebble Beach, and so we were close with Clint Eastwood because he and George used to golf together. And so I called Clint's machine, I got his machine, and I said, hey, Clint, you know, I just want to let you know this is what's going on. And so he called George a few days later, and he goes, George, I didn't know you married your sister.
That's so
because it was such
funny.
a weird thing, you know.
You know, yeah. I remember when we first met.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I was doing a spot on Entertainment Tonight.
Yes.
And and George and you were kind enough to allow me to read for you on camera. But I think you read
George.
I
was just backstage.
Yeah, I read for him because people like to know about celebrities. They like celebrities to be read for. But I always remembered you. I always thought
we had a moment.
Yeah, we had a moment, and I felt like this is somebody that I like. This is somebody that I could be friends with. This is somebody whose energy is, and this was before the kidney transplant.
Oh, yeah, and you know what's so funny? Was
what?
We were talking, and we had this instant connection, and we start talking, and then they whisked you, like, Char, you got to go do another show or go do another, and it's like,
oh, no.
Bye, Char. Bye-bye. And now, years later, we're back together.
You are so sweet.
But they whisked you away from me, and I was like, but wait, we were having a moment.
Yeah, we were. We were so connected.
We were having a moment.
And also, I have to say, George was very kind to let me, and he was open-minded, and I picked up on a friend of his who died.
Yes, a friend of his who died in a car accident, motorcycle accident, which was heartbreaking.
Yeah, you know, this donation, like the donor donation and the organ donation, really brings something to my mind that I've been thinking about a lot lately, because I have a friend who, well, there's a couple people that I know of that were multimillionaires, billionaires, I don't know, gazillionaires, whatever. Right. One had a brain tumor, and they could not fix him. They had all the money in the world, and there was nothing in the world they could do to fix this man. Then someone else I know, who was also very, very well off, had a problem with their lungs. and had to have a lung transplant.
Oh, wow.
But he had a disease that his body fought his lung. I don't know what it's called. It was like...
Oh, I know what that is, and I can't remember the name.
I forgot what it's called.
Yeah.
But so he did have a lung transplant, but then the body rejected it.
Oh, that's so sad.
Because for some reason, whatever the disease is, the lung could not stay healthy and well. And it just reminds us that the most important thing is to be healthy and to love.
Absolutely.
Like, love is the bridge that connects us to the other side. There's nothing more powerful in the world than love. Because when we die, it's not how rich we are. No. It's not how famous we are. It's not how how great we look. Although, I don't want to look bad in my coffin. But better get my face done right before that. Being the psychic I am, maybe I'll know. But the truth is that all the money in the world can't fix someone or keep them healthy.
And also, this body, this body is not what lives on of us. It's our spirit. Right. And, the Pope is an organ donor. Rabbis are organ donors. There's nothing religious about it. And it's not only organs. There's skin. You can donate just a tiny patch of your skin, and they can regenerate the skin. There's a beautiful girl that I saw at a convention where she had been in a horrible car accident, and she had needed skin, and she got transplanted skin from donors' corneas. It's not just organs. So, sometimes someone is too ill to give an organ, but there's always a part of the body that they can give. Even if it's just a little stamp-sized piece of skin, you'll help someone.
That's amazing. Well, it has been an honor and a
sweetie,
privilege
thank you so much.
To have you on CharVision. And really, I'm just so happy that our paths have connected again.
Yes, me too. Me too. Thank you for having me. This was really fun.
I'm very grateful, and
absolutely.
And you're amazing. And I know that you've opened my eyes, and you've opened a lot of other people's eyes. And
thank you.
You're like an angel on earth. I believe that. I do. I think that there are some people on the earth who are angels on earth, and I think you are one of them. So thank you so much for being here.
Love. Thank you. That means so much to me.
Yeah, of course. And I hope to see you soon.
Absolutely. Can I stay for your reading?
Yeah. I'm going to do a reading right now. That was good segue. I'm going to do a reading for somebody. Are we doing a commercial, or are we doing a reading, Tony? Okay, let's do a quick commercial, and we'll set up the reading, and it's somebody I don't know, but I will know them, I hope.
Got it. All right, here we go.
Hey, everybody. You probably think I only do individual readings, but sometimes I get a message for everybody. And I wrote a poem that was channeled through me, and I'd like to read it to you. It's called Until We Meet Again by Char Margolis, a message from heaven. My work is done, it's time to leave. Know that I am also missing you as you grieve. I completed my karma on the earth, and now it is time for my rebirth. I'm flying with eagles and dancing on stars. Please know that I haven't gone far. The love we have will carry us through until the day I am again with you. What an amazing journey this passing over can be. I am in good company. I know you hurt, but please trust me. Our journey together is for eternity. So until the day our souls reunite, stay peaceful and well, and use your spirit sight. I will bring you signs from up above, a butterfly, a bird, my sign of love. Don't worry about me. I'm in good hands. Stay strong, stay positive, and continue to pray. When it is your natural day to graduate from the earth, look for me in the bright white light. We have completed our purpose, and all will be right. This is handmade. It's signed by me. It's an affordable gift for any occasion. Just go to char.net and click on store. Thank you. Hi, everybody. It's Char. Well, many of you have asked if I teach psychic intuition, and I do. Everybody has a sixth sense, Everybody has an ability to prevent problems and attain goals in their lives. And I'd love to teach you. Just go to char.net, CHARNET, and join one of my classes and call Nikki and she'll help you out. Remember, intuition will take you places logic never could. Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Thank God. All right. Well, you never know what those ghosts are going to do. Okay, so can you put a little louder, please? Okay, so just be open-minded about everybody living and deceased, okay?
Okay.
And if more than one person share the same name or initial, I need you to tell me. But don't say the name unless I say it first, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to say, I always say a prayer protection before I do this because I want to make sure only positive energy is around us and nothing tries to trick us.
Okay.
And then we'll start. We ask the universal consciousness and God that holds the highest spiritual power of knowledge, wisdom, and truth to guide and protect us as we communicate with our guides and angels in the spirit world and tap into the wisdom of the universe. We respect this opportunity and take full responsibility to use this not for ego or controlling others, but with the pure intention of spreading love and healing life on this earth and beyond. Okay, I'm getting a couple things. First, I'm seeing somebody that's an A or M initial. Do you have somebody that's an A or M?
Yes.
Are they deceased?
No.
They're living. Is it A or M?
Well, for neither.
So there's nobody that starts with an A or an M initial?
Well, my last name is. Can I tell you my last name?
Oh, your last name is Adams. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think. Okay. Let me come back to this. Okay. So is that your maiden name or your the name you were born with?
Yeah.
Okay. And is there somebody that's a? Don't just think of one person deceased or anybody. Be open about everybody. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there a J or G person?
Deceased
or living?
Yes.
Is it a J?
I have both J and G.
Are they living?
Yes.
Both of them?
Yes.
Is the J a male?
Yes.
And is it spelled J-O?
Close.
Or J-A? Or just starts with a J? Is there an O in his name?
Well, no.
Okay. I'm mixed up about what I'm getting. But it starts with J.
Yes.
Is there an E in his first name?
No.
Okay.
Maybe it's the G.
Is there a G-E?
Yes.
Like, is that a male?
Yes.
Is there a George or a
Several.
Jerry?
There are several.
Several Georges?
Yes.
Is this family to you?
Yeah.
Is it like a brother? Or a father or grandfather?
I have nephew, and I have 2 brother-in-laws.
You have brother-in-laws named George.
Yeah.
Okay. And, okay, but I'm mixed up about this. Are one of them changing where they live or their work?
One recently moved.
One just moved. Okay, because I saw a change with them, but I wonder if they have someone named George deceased around them, but maybe you don't.
Oh, they do.
It's like their father?
Yes.
Yeah. Is that the one that moved?
No, they didn't move.
Or they changed where they live?
No, but one's father just died.
Okay, I'm mixed up. So there's 2 different ones. One just changed where they live, and then there's another George when the father died.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that George is around here. So that's your brother-in-law.
My brother-in-law, yeah.
His father.
Yeah.
So I think he's trying to identify himself and validate for you that he's, like, he went to a good place. Not everybody goes to a good place. But I'm feeling they went to a good place, and there's an S or C person. Is that a female?
Yes.
With an S or C?
S.
Is it spelled S-H or S-A?
S-H.
Like a Sharon or
Yeah, I have two.
Is there a Sherry or Sharon?
Yeah.
Is that your sister? Who is that?
Yeah, that's my sister.
And now, is she married to George?
Yes.
The one whose father died?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like he's like thanking her for taking care of George. Or did she do something to help her father-in-law?
She's pretty big-hearted, so
yeah, because she's a lovely girl, and I feel like he's grateful and he's thankful. Did you go to the funeral?
No.
Okay. Was it in another state?
Yes.
Do you know if they had some confusion at his funeral?
I think the whole thing was confused.
Because he's saying that there was chaos about how he was going to be buried or where he was going to be buried or the money or...
Yeah.
There was an issue with money.
I think there's issue with his burial.
Yep. He's saying it's like...
Probably with money. I haven't heard about the money, but I'm sure there's money.
Yeah, he's saying there's all this chaos, and he wants everybody to just stop being stressed about it. It's not a big deal. He's fine on the other side. It doesn't matter where his body is or how it is or whatever. He's fine on the other side.
Okay. That'll be nice.
And there's another George with him. So I bet his father or grandfather is a George.
Probably they keep this George line.
Yeah.
They have kept the George line going.
And then I'm seeing somebody that's a B or R. Or
R.
Is that a male?
Yeah, deceased.
Yeah. Is there a deceased R?
Yes.
Is he spelled R-O?
Yes.
Like Robert or
Yeah, it's
Robert?
Robert?
Mm-hmm. Is that your dad?
That's my uncle.
That's your uncle. Okay. I think he's around here. And also, is there a William? No, there's not a William. Are there two Roberts or just your maybe that's the B is Bob?
Yeah, he went by Bob too.
Okay. Did someone in your family have a business?
He did.
He did. Okay. And then when he crossed... Pardon?
And my dad, too.
And your dad. And is your dad deceased?
Yes.
And is Robert connected to him?
Oh, they were brothers?
They were brothers. Okay. I feel like he's trying to bring in your brother. And was there some confusion about the business?
Not that I know of. Well, probably.
No. Was there an issue when... Sorry, Sonny's like losing his... I don't know why he's... Are you okay, sweetie? Sorry. Here, wait. I'm going to let Sonny walk around. Here, Sonny. Sorry. 1 second. Okay. Sonny had enough of me. Okay, I have to go back to where I was. Oh, when... Did somebody still have a business when they died?
My uncle.
And was there some confusion about the business when he died or how it was handled?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. I'm not sure why he's showing this to me like this, but he is. And there's also somebody that's an E or F. I don't know who that is. And also, I don't know your dad's name, but I feel like your dad's trying to get through to you. Mm-hmm. I didn't give you his initial, though, right?
No. Yeah, you did. B?
Oh, he starts with a B.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I said B. Okay. But he's not Bob. That's your uncle.
Yeah.
Is it B with an R in it?
Yes.
Like B-R or B-E-R?
Uh-huh. B. It's Barry.
Barry. Okay, yeah, don't say names. That's okay. I feel like your dad's just wanting you to know that he's proud of you. Do you have your own business?
Yes.
And did you do it from scratch?
Yes.
Like you're self-made?
Yeah. Well, I haven't quite made it yet, but yes.
Okay. I feel like he's saying don't give up on it. And I feel like you need to do either more marketing or come up with more clever ideas to help promote this business.
Okay.
And
well, that's very helpful.
Yeah, and but don't give up on it. But I feel like it's missing a piece. I feel like he's telling me, Barry's telling me that there's a piece missing from the business. Like, I don't know, maybe take a risk about something or add something to it, or sometimes you have to spend money to make money. Is there something you're thinking about doing that to expand it or change it or bring a new element into it?
Yeah, that's an option right now.
Okay, well, I don't know if this exact option is what you should do, but I feel like you need to go with your gut and go with the right thing that you know feels comfortable and feels right for you.
Okay. That's very helpful.
Because if this option isn't right, don't do it. When in doubt, don't.
Okay.
But I feel like you're smart enough and you're wise enough to figure this out to move forward with it.
Okay.
Anyway, we got to go. But I really appreciate you
so much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you allowing me to read for you.
Oh, thank you. And
Yeah.
I will tell my sister, I think she'll be thrilled to hear, because her father-in-law just died and there was confusion.
Well, good. I hope it brings some peace.
My dad is thinking of me.
Yeah, I hope. Well, just let her know that your dad pops in every so often to watch over you guys.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Good luck with your business. It's really lovely to meet you.
Thank you. Same here.
Thank you. Okay, everybody, that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you following me on Twitter and Facebook, and sign up for my newsletter. We have a new newsletter coming out, and it's free. If you go to char.net, char.net, you can find out what's going on, and we give away free reading in the newsletter if you sign up. So, anyway, thank you, Ann Lopez, for being here. Thank you, Tony, for your help. Thank you, Nikki, and especially thank you, everybody at home, for helping me help others. And remember, intuition will take you places logic never could. Thank you. Bye-bye.